Even though the Minnesota Vikings will be hosting the New York Football Giants wildcard weekend and then playing in the division round and then NFC title game and then hoisting that Jerome Barty, it's never too early to look ahead to mock draft season and who the Vikings are going to select. Now, it's important to note that the Vikings do not have a second-round pick currently because of the TJ Hawkinson trade. They do have a fistful of other mid-round draft picks, but, I mean, the first-round pick for the Vikings, probably going to be at 31. Shoot the J, nailed it, is going to be important. And even though the Vikings basically get an extra draft class because Kwesi Adofo-Mensah's class this year with Lewis Seen, Andrew Booth Jr., Caleb Evans, Brian Asamoah, guys that will be contributing to the team, Ty Chandler, Asazio Tamoa, guys that will be contributing to this team, Jalen Naylor, hell, guys that will be contributing to this team in the future, they didn't really get on the field as rookies, but that's perfectly fine. But take a look ahead. 2023 NFL Mock Draft. Pro Football Focus, our guy Michael Renner put this one together. So just skimming through the early picks. So the Colts trade up from 4 to 1 for Bryce Young. We talked about that. That certainly could happen. Texans go with size and potential with Will Levis. The Cardinals go with Will Anderson, helping to replace JJ. The Bears with Jalen Carter. Ooh. Gross. Like, as much as we revere Akeem Hicks, just think of someone who is as disruptive as Akeem Hicks and also giant. Just ridiculous. Miles Murphy, edge rusher, going to the Seahawks. Brian Breesy going to Detroit. Ooh, I like that. Well, actually, I don't like that, but you know what I mean. 7, the Raiders. CJ Stroud's draft day tumble. Now, I don't think that Stroud's going to fall this far, but you never know. Like I said, if a team like the Texans want to bet on the upside of Will Levis, fully understand that. Tyree Wilson, the edge rusher from Texas Tech, going to Atlanta. They do need some help getting after the quarterback's ass. Carolina Panthers taking a shot on AR, Anthony Richardson. So now it will be lazy just to compare him to Cam Newton, the Florida connection, as well as his abilities. But I think Anthony Richardson has a chance to be a dynamic quarterback in this league. So, I mean, it's going to take some time, but I mean, that's a nice gamble, but it's one I'm willing to take. The Eagles load up on the back end. Brian Branch, Crimson Tide. Alabama DBs are always in demand. Paris Johnson, the tackle, going to Tennessee Titans, where they've had a bunch of issues. Also, Taylor Lewan is starting to age out a little bit. Then Quentin Johnson. Ooh. This is great. So Will Levis and Quentin Johnston going to the Texans. I love that as the quarterback and pass catcher. That's going to be awesome. The Jets getting Skornowski. Now, they've had some issues at tackle and also with the injuries up front. I mean, this one does make sense. Although, I mean, the Jets, I'm sure, would love to have taken another bite at the apple at quarterback. The big four are already off the board, and barring them moving up, let's see, Patriots. The Packers not taking a wide receiver, but taking a tight end, Michael Mayer. Cool. Yeah, he is tight end 1 in his class, but it's whatever. I mean, Jordan Love needs some weapons. There you go. Cam Smith going to Steelers. Lions taking Bijan Robinson. All right, so the Lions in this one get Brian Breesy as well as Bijan Robinson. So that's gross. That is really, really gross. Ringo, Addison going to the Giants. I kind of like that. Darnell, Zay Flowers. All right, so get into the Vikings pick. 28 overall, even though it's going to be 31. We know this. Vikings go Tanner McKee, quarterback from Stanford. And General Manager Kwesi Adofo-Mensah is tied to Kirk Cousins for only one more season, and the Vikings rooster is too good to where they won't be getting the pick of the litter in the draft anytime soon. That could mean taking advantage of a deep quarterback class to start a year early on developing Cousins' successor. McKee is one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the draft class, but was put in a lot of unwinnable situations on tape at Stanford. And yeah, if you look at some of the Stanford Cardinal over the last couple years, hasn't been great on Palo Alto, but I mean, Tanner McKee is a super intriguing prospect. So he's 22 years old. He's going to be 23 to start the 2023 season. Now he's a little bit older than most prospects because he served a Mormon mission in Brazil. He's 6'6", he's 230. He's gigantic, former 4-star recruit from Corona, California. Went to Stanford, 2-year starter. Stats are not overwhelming, but like we said, Stanford had been garbaggio over the last 2 years. 2022 completed only 62% of his passes. 2,947 yards receiving, 13 touchdowns, 8 picks. But was a problem with the offense? Was a problem with the protection? Was a problem with weapons? I think yes. So you're betting on the intangibles. You're betting on the prospect. You're betting on the skill set versus just black and white stats. But 6'6", 230. He's absolutely got a sturdy frame. He's got arm talent for days, like Renner said. Pretty accurate. Now, he's not Josh Allen, but he does have some athleticism to him. He's not just going to be a statue back there, which is important with the Vikings offensive line. Needs to work on mechanics and consistency, but sitting behind Kirk Cousins for a year, maybe two, working with Kevin O'Connell every single day, and Kwesi and KOC would have their quarterback of the future. I mean, it does make sense. Also, you love the intangibles, leadership, character. This kid effervesces it, and also he's a cancer survivor as well, so he's tough as nails. And I think that it would make a lot of sense, even though, like we said, the Vikings don't have a second-round pick. So you'd be spending your first-round pick on a guy who's ideally not going to see the field in any meaningful way for 2 or 3 seasons. And then, overall, I'm a big draft a quarterback every year, because if you can't get it right, just keep shooting, shoot. And I think that. I do think that Tanner McKee would be a really interesting prospect late in the first round for the Vikings. Also, you could put Max Duggan in there as well. But that's it. Let's take a look at Pro Football Focus's latest mock draft. Mike Renner giving the Vikings a QB. Tanner McKee nailed it at 28 overall, even though we know it's going to be 31. Anyways, let's know your thoughts and our thoughts and his thoughts in the comments section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. We'll support the work. Put a little something in the Venmo. But until next time, Skol, production value.